Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Gale right here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we are going to be talking about the anniversary once again. But this time we're not talking about the anniversary itself. We are actually going to be talking about the pre-anniversary campaign that happens every single year, called the Anniversary Eve campaign. Now, of course, for those of you guys don't know what happens in this Anniversary Eve campaign, we're going to be talking about it in this video. We're going to be going over what's happened in the previous years. Along with that, we're going to be getting an estimate of when it's going to begin and when we're starting to get information about the anniversary itself, for the 6th anniversary, that is, of course. And also on top of that, some expectations from the pre-anniversary campaign, because there are a couple of new things that usually happen during the pre-anniversary campaign. So of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content. And once you're done watching this video, leave a comment down below as well. Let me know what your expectations are as well from this upcoming campaign. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Now, like I said, we're going to be taking a look at the previous years for an idea for what's going to be coming in Danmemo for the upcoming 6th anniversary pre-anniversary event, basically. So let's take a look at the Reddit. Now, the Reddit has thankfully gotten a lot of stuff. So we have the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign, we have the 4th anniversary Eve campaign, and we also have the 5th anniversary Eve campaign as well. So we're gonna go over a bunch of things together at the same time to get an idea of what exactly goes down. So let's start off with the 3rd anniversary first and foremost, because this was the first time they properly started doing these anniversary Eve campaigns. The 2nd anniversary also did have an Eve campaign, but it was very small and very minuscule compared to what they've done for the last 3 years. And the last 3 years have also been more or less the same as well. So in the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign, the first thing that they announced was when the anniversary was going to happen. So they said it was going to happen on June 19th, which meant that there was basically a 3-week period between the, well, anniversary Eve campaign up until the start of the anniversary itself. And of course, they mentioned that they're going to be getting an anniversary Eve, basically. So there's a lot of stuff here. So let's take a look at the event summary right here. You can see what they've brought out. So first and foremost, they brought out this event called Reminiscence. It was basically an opportunity for players to experience what's happened in the past year, basically, starting from the 2nd anniversary campaign all the way to the start of the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign, basically. So a bunch of events that came out between that 2nd anniversary till the start of the 3rd anniversary was what we got. So it meant all the tales and stuff like that, they were condensed into this one event. That's the same thing that happened in the 4th anniversary Eve campaign as well as the 5th anniversary Eve campaign. So this is something that you can expect to see in this upcoming anniversary, is that we're going to be experiencing all the old events that we've gotten in the last year. So if we take a look at the story digest, right, we can easily see what all we're going to be getting in this upcoming anniversary Eve campaign. So first and foremost, we'll obviously get the Knights of Fianna storyline condensed into a couple of chapters, basically, in that Reminiscence event, basically. Then on top of that, we'll get Xenos Reverse, we'll get Sword Oratoria Volume 9, Eyes in Wonderland, Return of the Hero, Valhalla Panic, potentially a Twilight Dream. I'm not sure about this one, but it's possible that we'll get this one. Overture of the Sword and Spear, and we will get Gnosis War. We won't get the in-between stuff like the side stories for Danmachi Season 4 as well as Dungeon Memoria, but we should be getting more or less everything else. So that is something that you can expect to see in this upcoming Anniversary Eve campaign, is if you've missed out on any story and you want to read it in a TLDR form, basically, that's something that we will be getting in the upcoming Anniversary Eve campaign. Now, further on top of that, we will be getting rerun gachas for every single one of those events that I've just mentioned. So the Knights of Fianna banners will come back. So if you want to summon for the 5th anniversary units, you can. I personally wouldn't necessarily recommend it. If you want to go for CP and you've never summoned on them before and you don't have like a copy of, let's say, Finn, Fianna, Lazar, or any of those characters, do a multi just so you can get them as CP characters. But outside of that, I would say it's a no-fly zone on those banners, because the 6th anniversary units should more or less outpace them massively. There should be a huge power creep between the 5th anniversary to the 6th anniversary, so that's something to bear in mind. Now, on top of that, they always introduce 2 new characters from the previous anniversary. So in this case, the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign, we saw them introduce a new Argonaut and Fina. I was gonna say Fianna there. I struggled there because I wanted to say Fianna so badly, but Fina and Argonaut got 2 new units basically. On the 4th anniversary Eve Gacha event, we got Zard and Althea. We got the new Zard and Althea, the one we saw last, even in the Australia Record rerun event we got recently, right? So they were the 4th anniversary Eve units. And then in the 5th anniversary, we got a new Epimetheus and we got a new Ilya as well. Now, personally, and this is where I'm going to bring up my 5th anniversary units actually. Let's go over here and let's look at the 5th anniversary units just a second. So let's go over to the album, and if we scroll all the way down, you'll see some of the 5th anniversary units. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to exclude Elmina, Galmus, and Yuri. I don't see them getting new units. Absolutely not. I don't expect them to get any new units. In terms of what we can possibly see, right, is I expect to see a new Unmasked Fianna. I can see that happening. A new Unmasked Fianna would be something that I can expect to see happening. And on top of that, I can see a potential for a new Dim potentially. Not a Finn, not the Finn that you can see, the Dark Finn or Light Finn, but I'm talking about Dim as a character itself. I think we could be seeing a summonable Dim for the first time. I do see that happening. So that's my predictions. I do think those are the 2 new 5th anniversary characters we're going to be getting. I think we're going to get an Unmasked Fianna and we're going to get a Dim potentially. Now, the question is it going to be a Hero Festa or not? Because they could easily bait us into a Hero Festa, and there is a potential for a Familiar War Games to come out. Now, this is a little bit of a myth that's been going on in the community right now, is that every time there's been a Familiar War Games, there's always been a new Hero Festa as well. Which is true. That's happened the last 3 or 4 times, to be quite honest. I say 3 or 4 times. The last 3 times we've gotten a Hero Festa, there's always been a Familiar War Games, and usually before the anniversary happens over the last couple of years, we have tended to get a Master of Familiar War Games. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign actually had... Oh, no, it did have one. So the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign had a Master of Familiar War Games. If we take a look at the 4th anniversary actually as well, we did have a Master of Familiar War Games as well. And if we take a look at the 5th anniversary Eve campaign, we also did have a Master of Familiar War Games as well. They did mention MFWG during the stream. So it's always been there. Master of Familiar War Games has always happened during the pre-anniversary campaign. Now, the question is there going to be a Familiar War Games first and foremost? Because leading into the upcoming live streams, we still have a month to go, right? There is a 100% chance that there will be another War Game season. What they can do is that there will be a week of War Games that will be basically the pre-Familiar War Games. Then they can do Familiar War Games, and then the week before the anniversary begins, they can do a Master of Familiar War Games. It's very possible. It's very, very possible. Unless they decide to take the record from the previous Familiar War Games into the upcoming Master of Familiar War Games. Now, the reason why I'm talking about Familiar War Games, like I said, is because it raises the possibility of there being a Hero Festa before the anniversary, which, fingers crossed, I hope it's not the case. But at the same time, I'm trying to think about it, because usually some of these units that we get during the anniversary Eve campaign, like the Argonaut and the Fina, as well as the Zard and Althea, and of course the Epimetheus and Ilya that we have here, they tend to be relatively strong characters as well. So I don't know if I would prefer it to be just a regular time limited banner, or if I want them to be Hero Festa so that they get added into future Hero Festa banners very, very easily. Not sure on that front, because of course Hero Festa banners tend to take more iris out of you compared to a normal time limited banner, but at the same time, I prefer this sort of banner. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys prefer a Hero Festa right before the anniversary, or do you guys want a regular time limited banner for these units? I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Now, I will say personally, I don't see a Hero Festa happening, because even though there's going to be a Familiar War Games happening and a Master of Familiar War Games, I am leaning towards there being potentially not a Hero Festa, purely because I believe one of the things that they'll want to sell during the anniversary itself is going to be the big new thing, which is the Hero Festa assist, right? I think that's going to happen during the anniversary. It's pretty much assured that we are due to get a Hero Festa assist. We have only one element to go as well in terms of a new Hero Festa unit as well, which is water. So it would make a lot of sense to have the last element and the new Hero Festa assist unit together at the same time. And I would assume that would be during the anniversary and not in the pre-anniversary campaign. We'll have to wait and see though. I could be wrong and they actually just do a Hero Festa and they do another element, or they just drop the water element right before the anniversary and they save the assist for the anniversary itself. Who knows? But you guys can let me know what you guys would like to see down below. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I could stand corrected right here and I could be wrong in what I'm saying basically. So yeah, basically we're gonna get a rerun of all the last year's campaigns and everything. It's gonna be pretty cool in all honesty. It's a good TLDR story. All the gachas are going to rerun as well, like I was saying, up until I got distracted by the fact that, oh, there's a new they will release new characters as well. But a lot of gachas will rerun. Now, I'm not sure if old Hero Festas will rerun. That's the thing we don't know much about, to be honest, because unfortunately, this is the first time we're going to be seeing Hero Festas in the pre-anniversary campaign, potentially, right? Because Hero Festas are only 6 months old, right? So it's very possible that they could rerun a lot of the Hero Festas, which in my personal opinion is pretty cool. At the same time though, it is an easy bait for a lot of players to just jump in and start summoning for like Bell or Hero Festa Elise and stuff like that. I would say probably still skip those banners. Maybe if you want to do the first 4 steps or 5 steps, I think you can get away with it. But at the same time, you can't necessarily if you're really low on Iris. Maybe if you're like 15,000 plus Iris already at the time of the campaign starting, you can still accumulate at least another 2,000, 3,000 Iris. So maybe doing 5 steps on one of the banners is fine. But for the most part, I would say that's very easy bait and they will drag you in very easily if they do rerun the Hero Festas. So I would say be careful when it comes to the rerun gacha banners. They're meant to basically drain you of your Iris right before the anniversary starts. You have to stay strong and you have to make sure you don't, you know, get succumbed to the rerun gacha banner. So be careful on that front. Be very, very, very careful on that front. All right, so yeah, like I said, 2 new units. I'm very curious to see what they're gonna be doing with the upcoming anniversary pre-anniversary campaign in terms of what units they're gonna you know, release as new units basically from the 5th anniversary, which characters are gonna get the new characters. So that's going to be interesting. We are obviously going to get login bonuses as well, according to the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign as well, which would be fantastic. Would love to see it. Let's have a look, see what the images have to say. So you will receive 100 Iris every day as a login present for 5 days from 28th of May. Good. More Iris, the better, of course. I know a lot of people are still struggling a little bit with the Iris, especially after the Hero Festa banner. So it'll be good to basically get a bunch of rewards and just generally a login bonus as well. So we are going to get 4-star guaranteed ticket. The final day is usually a bunch of Iris usually. It's around, I would say, 400 to 1,000 Iris. I don't remember which one it is, actually. I want to say it's either 400 or 1,000 Iris. I think it's 1,000 Iris that you usually get on the final day in the last 5 days of the login bonus, basically on the last day. So I think you'll be getting a bunch of Iris there. Main story update as well. New gacha for story. Seems to be just Estia. Okay, we move along. Master Familiar War Games, we talked about that. Welcome back campaign. Upgraded sorting feature. So this is something that they've done, I think, regularly in all the streams. So if we take a look over here, right? New familiar deities, as Astrea and Erebus, they added them into the familiar. We obviously had the sorting feature be updated in the 3rd anniversary Eve campaign, and then in the 5th anniversary Eve, I think we got something as well here. Lily Ruka and Finn paid costumes, and that's about it. Okay, so basically a small thing usually gets added as well to the anniversary Eve campaign. So let's have a look and see what they're gonna do this time around. One of the things to take note of as well that they mentioned here, I completely ignored it, is the fact that you're gonna be able to get a special exchange ticket. The exchange ticket allows you to pull on any of the past event banners. Each banner features all units from that event. So basically, say for example, right, let me go over to my game right now, right? So say you complete all the events, right? You complete all the events, which is usually very easily. Most players should be able to get those tickets if I'm not mistaken. there will be an event that will basically feature a bunch of stages. Like, let's say I'll go into Gnosis War, and it will contain a bunch of stages basically correlating to an event. So they'll start off with Knights of Fianna, then they'll go to Xenos' Reverse, then they'll go on to Sword Oratoria Volume 9, then they'll go on to Eyes in Wonderland, Return of the Hero, and so on and so forth. So they'll go in order, chronological order of when they released, basically. And once you get to the final event, which should be the Gnosis War, or I think it should be like a sort of like epilogue event, basically, that'll happen, you will be able to get a ticket that will allow you to summon on any banner. So basically, for example, if you wanted to summon on the Gnosis War banner, it will feature all 4 of these units: Ahmed, Philvis, Ray, and Lafia on the same banner, and you'll use the ticket, and basically you can potentially get one of these units. Basically, it'll be sort of like this banner. It'll be sort of like this banner, basically, but you'll be using a ticket. Now, you can choose it for any event. I think, personally, it's a very tricky one, because I would want to say that either going for the 5th anniversary ones or going for the Christmas banners, because the Christmas banner will be there. Of course, Return of the Hero doesn't necessarily have a banner outside of the Hero Festa. So I would say probably going for the Christmas banner is probably the best. If they do allow you to summon on the Hero Festa banners, which I doubt will happen, then probably going for the Hero Festa wouldn't be a bad idea either, to be quite honest. But I would say if they're allowing you just generally these banners, I would say the going for the Christmas banner to try and get Aina or Record Buster Wine potentially is not bad, because I do believe water is going to be on the rise, assuming obviously the Water Hero Festa is during the anniversary, right? So I can see that happening potentially. On top of that, we could also probably see maybe, like, for example, you could want to go for the Eyes in Wonderland units, because Eyes is also a water unit. She's still really, really good, right? So there's that as well. You could go for example, I mean, this Gnosis War banner, again, with Ahmed and Lafia, both are really good units. You could go for this banner as well. So there's a bunch of options for you to decide on, basically, as to what you want to do and how you want to go about things. In all honesty, there's a bunch of options. Of course, I will be doing a live stream for the pre-anniversary campaign. So if you guys want to ask any questions about who you want to go for or anything of that sort, and maybe you guys want to share your boxes through Imgur or something, feel free to do that, and I can give you a recommendation as to who you should go for, basically, from there. But yeah, the tickets is really, really nice, so that's cool. Now let me have a look and see if there's anything else that I've missed out on before we tackle one last thing. So yeah, War Games is gonna come around. It's not a surprise there, unfortunately. Master of Familiar War Games is gonna happen. There is gonna be a paid banner as well. Astrological Festival Gacha, it's gonna happen again, basically. They did it in this anniversary as well. As you can see, the Rerun Gacha is here. I think they mentioned it somewhere here. Yeah, last anniversary's paid selection Gacha, that's gonna happen. So yeah, login bonuses and everything, that's gonna be happening, basically. Now, when can we expect it? I mean, you guys can already see the dates here. All of them happen at the end of May, basically, right? 5/24, 5/25, and 5/26 respectively for the last couple of years, going in backwards order. So this year, right, if we take a look at my game once again, if we go back to the game, you can see that the Gnosis War ends on 5/24, which means that there should be a live stream on 5/22. That is where I believe we will be getting the pre-anniversary campaign. I think it's very, very possible that on the 23rd or 22nd of May is when we will be getting the anniversary eve information. Now, next week we do have another live stream happening. I expect to get a rerun in that campaign information, I would say, in next week's live stream, as well as a Familiar Rush, to be quite honest. But 2 weeks after that, on the 23rd, I expect us to see a new live stream happen where we will be getting the pre-anniversary eve campaign. Now, another thing to note is that we will also start seeing teaser images and potentially logos as well for the anniversary around that time. Like you can see right here, they showed off the logo for the first time during this pre-anniversary campaign. I think last year I remember them showing some teaser images as well of like backdrops and locations and stuff like that. So I expect us to start getting a little bit of information like that, basically, and then every single week after that I expect us to start seeing some sort of like logo drops, some more information, because I remember, I think in the first week of June or around the second week of June, after they dropped this information for the 3rd anniversary, we saw the Ryu logo for the first time with her long hair. and that was a huge thing. Even in the second anniversary, in the first week of June or something, we had a coin. Basically, they showed us a coin which had you know, two bells. Basically, at the time we didn't know who the second bell was. Obviously we found out it was Argonaut. We were talking about like an evil twin and stuff like that. It was very funny because we thought it was going to be a non-canon event, but of course it turned out to be Argonaut. It showed like Bell, of course, the President Bell, and Argonaut. So I expect something like that to happen once again, where we'll start getting some teaser images in the first or second week of June. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to the most in the pre-anniversary Eve campaign. Let me know what your expectations are in terms of the new characters potentially, or the new units from the 5th anniversary. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.